How I made $10,000 flipping broken iPhones. I still remember the moment I realized I was sitting on a goldmine, disguised as a pile of broken iPhones. Yep, like some Silicon Alley junkyard treasure. It all started with a random DM in December 2023, from a guy named Greg. "Hey man, got 50 busted iPhones, thinks he can get $5 a piece. Need them gone ASAP. You in?" Now, I had zero experience, nada, no tech background, no repair skills, just a mild fascination with espresso machines and viral TikToks. But $250 for a bag of cracked screens sounded like I was stealing, so I said, "Sure." What was the worst that could happen, right? Step 1: the purchase. I drove to a dingy storage locker in Queens, cash in hand. Greg greeted me at the gate, eyes darting like he just pulled off a heist. He slapped a giant plastic bin into the trunk, slammed the door shut, and disappeared like a ghost. I counted 52 phones, all screens smashed, backs dented, water damage all around. Enough to scare away anyone but me. Back home, I piled them on the dining table. My fiancée raised an eyebrow so high I thought it might lodge in her hairline. "What are you doing, babe?" she asked, sipping her evening tea. "Oh, nothing," I said, casually draping a waterlogged 8+ across an empty plate for dinner ambience. "Just thinking this could pay off Christmas in one go." Step 2: research phase. I spent the next 2 weeks glued to YouTube tutorials. Fix cracked iPhone screens for $7 profit. Kinds of videos, plus Reddit threads on r/flippingtech and r/iFixit. I learned about aftermarket screens, the dreaded liquid detector stickers, and logic board swaps. I felt like a hacker peeking behind Apple's curtain. My Airbnb-style workstation? The kitchen table, covered in blue nitro gloves, teeny screws, and sticky plastic picks. My cat, Pixel, watched from a safe distance, probably wondered why I turned the place into a miniature phone morgue. Step 3: first attempt, epic fail. My first victim, a SIXS with a shattered screen and dead battery. I ordered the cheapest screen on AliExpress, big mistake, and a generic battery. Should be easy, I thought. 4 hours later, after lost screws and a dozen YouTube replays, I got the thing to power on, with vertical green lines cracking across the screen. Crud. Reseller sites like Swappa and Gazelle ripped my listing apart, offering me $12.50 for garbage. The market was brutal. I boxed it, returned it, and gulped down my pride, and a pack of ibuprofen for the phone repair-induced headache. Part 2 tease. But my second phone? A 7 Plus that came back to life with an honest aftermarket screen that actually worked. I replaced the battery with a decent UPS store-bought one, and I sold it for $140 on eBay. I thought, maybe I'm onto something. But just when the cog in my head clicked, I faced 2 major twists. A customs hold-up. My bulk order of 100 screens got stuck in LAX duty clearance. A scammer. Someone tried to send me a bogus PayPal. Hold. Leaving me temporarily $2,500 out of pocket. But hold on. Before diving into that, here's where the story twists into real gear. So after my first successful flip, an iPhone 7 Plus turned $25 in parts into $140 cash. I was hyped. Ecstatic. I even did the classic dumb move. I opened Excel and projected that if I did this just 10 more times a week, I'd make 6 figures in a year. Easy, right? Wrong. First twist, my screens got stuck in customs. High on confidence, I bulk ordered 100 iPhone screens from a Chinese supplier with good reviews on Alibaba. I even negotiated them down to $6.80 per screen. Felt like a real businessman. Then, silence. The shipping tracker froze at. Arrived at US Customs LAX. I waited 1 day. Then 3. Then 10. I emailed. I called. I DM'd the supplier. Nothing. Meanwhile, I had 30 phones sitting in my closet like zombies waiting for brains. Or, in this case, screens. On day 14, I finally got an update. Held for inspection due to lithium battery declaration discrepancy. What? Turns out, the supplier had tried to sneak in 20 batteries without proper labeling. Lithium batteries are a shipping red flag. My entire $680 shipment was now in limbo. I thought I was done for. But somehow, after a stern call to DHL and an email that may or may not have included a made-up LLC name, Quantum Devices LLC, thanks, Google, they agreed to release the non-battery items. I got my 100 screens. Batteries? Destroyed by customs. Lesson learned, never, ever let overseas suppliers throw in bonuses. Second twist, the PayPal scammer. Feeling cocky again, I listed 5 freshly flipped phones on eBay, starting at $1 with no reserve. I figured demand would skyrocket. I was right, bidding wars broke out. One buyer messaged me. Hey, I'll pay $500 direct through PayPal if you can overnight this to my nephew. It's a gift. I knew the red flags. Gift nephew PayPal. But I was blinded by the $500 tag. He even sent me a legit-looking PayPal email saying, "Funds are on hold until shipping is confirmed." It looked so real. I shipped it. USPS overnight. $34.95 out of pocket. 3 days later, I got the actual email from PayPal. No such transaction exists. Boom. Gone. The guy had faked the PayPal notification. I checked the headers, full-on spoof domain. $500 phone, gone. $35 shipping, gone. My pride, obliterated. That night, I sat in my car outside a Dunkin', staring at my steering wheel, feeling like the dumbest person on earth. I debated quitting. Selling the rest of the phones as is. Just stopping. But then I got smart. I didn't quit. I pivoted. I dove deep into online flipping communities. I learned about Mercury, OfferUp, and Facebook Marketplace, places where scammers were less common, and where I could meet local buyers face to face. I also got Verizon insurance returns from a wholesaler in New Jersey. These phones were already pre-cleaned, no iCloud locks, just damaged or returned. I started a routine. Mornings, clean, test, and list 3 to 4 phones. Afternoons, ship orders, buy parts, troll Facebook Marketplace for bulk deals. Nights, watch iPhone repair videos with a glass of boxed wine. Every phone became a little puzzle, like flipping a house, but way less risk and more soldering. Then came the big score. A guy messaged me on Craigslist. "I've got 23 broken iPhones from a school tech lab. $500 firm. Mostly iPhone 8s and XR models. All had cracked screens and dead batteries, but no water damage." I said yes. Paid in cash. He even threw in 4 busted iPads. It took me 2 weeks to get through them, but the payoff? Mobile phone iPhone 8s sold for $140 to $160. Mobile phone XRs went for $200 plus. Mobile phone one of the iPads fetched $180 after a $40 screen swap. Total gross from that one haul, $2,970. Total cost, $500 plus $330 in parts equals $830. Profit, $2,140. From one deal. After the school tech lab score, I was feeling unstoppable. That $2,140 profit made up for every scam, custom snag, and failed screen repair. I was still flipping from my kitchen table, but I'd built a little system. Inventory in one cabinet, tools in another, packaging supplies under the sink. My fiancée eventually gave up on using the dining table for anything romantic. Then came Alex. The new partner. Alex was a friend of a friend, an ex-Best Buy Geek Squad guy who knew how to fix everything from PS5s to MacBooks. We grabbed coffee at a local spot and I showed him my spreadsheet, what I was buying, how much I was flipping for, average margins. He leaned in and said, "I can source phones. But you gotta teach me your flipping hustle." Deal. He had the skills. I had the system. Together we could scale up, double the repairs, double the sales. He brought his own toolkit, and even had a heat gun I'd only seen on YouTube tutorials. Legit. Operation Garage Empire. We turned my parents' and used garage into a full-on repair and shipping center. 2 folding tables, ring lights, a mini fridge, and a whiteboard that just said, "Screens equals money." Our workflow. Monday through Wednesday, fix and test all new arrivals. Thursday, list on eBay, Mercury, Facebook. Friday through Saturday, meet local buyers or ship orders. We even made an Instagram account called at Garage Flips. Mostly memes and time-lapse repairs. It got us a small following, and surprisingly, leads. One DM said, "Got 40 iPhones from a mobile repair kiosk that closed down. Can you pick them up? Cash only." Location, a dusty strip mall in Jersey. Sounded shady? Naturally, we went. The man in the yellow hoodie. We met at 10 a.m. sharp. The guy was wearing a yellow hoodie with the words, "Untraceable," on the back in all caps. He didn't talk much. Just opened a big blue IKEA bag full of phones. No chargers. No accessories. All iPhones from SIXS to XR. $1,200 total. We started inspecting them. A few had minor screen issues. 1 or 2 were iCloud locked, which we usually avoided, but the rest? Decent. I asked, "You got receipts or anything? Just making sure these aren't hot." He smirked. "Nah, man. They're clean. Let's keep this quick." We paid. Took the bag. Left. That night, Alex was scrubbing data and I checking the batch when he froze. "Bro. 2 of these were flagged as lost/stolen by Verizon, today." We both stared at the screen. The FBI knock. A week later, Alex calls me at 7:15 a.m., panic in his voice. "Dude. FBI. At my door. I need you to come over, now." I sped over, heart racing, stomach in knots. When I arrived, there were 2 unmarked black SUVs in the driveway and 3 agents on the porch. I thought it was a prank at first. It wasn't. The lead agent, calm but firm, asked us about a man named Eddie L., the guy from the strip mall. Apparently, he'd been under investigation for running a stolen electronics ring, reselling phones reported as lost by fake claims to insurance companies. We explained we were flippers. Just bought phones. Didn't know they were stolen. We showed them receipts, PayPal records, chat screenshots, our Instagram page, even the spreadsheet. They were skeptical but professional. Eventually, they confiscated 4 phones for evidence and told us we weren't in trouble. For now. Aftermath. We called it the Yellow Hoodie Incident. Lost $300 on the seized phones. Got scared straight. From that day forward, we implemented new rules. No cash deals over $500 unless verified with original receipt or IMEI check. Avoid unknown sellers who message from throwaway accounts. Never pick up phones from parking lots, alleys, or strip malls, period. It slowed us down a bit, but it kept us clean. And hey, we were still turning profits. But then Alex had an idea that would change everything. What if we stopped just flipping and started refurbishing and branding? He meant making our own refurbished device brand. Clean installs. Branded packaging. Instruction inserts. Like Apple, but grittier. That idea? It would double our margins, and accidentally lead us into a bidding war with a local tech store. After the whole FBI thing, which we now refer to as the hoodie incident, Alex and I knew we had to legitimize. We couldn't keep running this like 2 guys fixing phones in a garage while avoiding the feds. That's when Alex pitched the big idea. Let's go pro. Let's create our own brand. At first I laughed. You mean like off-brand Apple? No, dude. Think about it. All these resellers slap bubble wrap on a phone and call it a day. What if we made something premium? Branded box. Clean install. Warranty. Whole vibe. He was serious. And honestly, I was intrigued. Step 1: branding the flip. We spent an entire weekend brainstorming names. We landed on Rebooted. Tagline: Smartphones, smarter prices. Cheesy? Maybe. But we went all in. Ordered 250 minimalist black boxes with our logo, via Fiverr Designer plus Vistaprint. Designed a thank you card insert that said, "Welcome to Rebooted. You just saved a ton of money. And the planet." Bought packs of eco-friendly screen wipes and clear protective cases to include in each box. Cost per full, rebooted kit, was around $4.15. But it made each phone feel like a real product, not some used Craigslist cast-off. Step 2: the rebooted sales machine. We launched Rebooted on Facebook Marketplace, with the branding eBay, but now with professional photos, white backgrounds, ring light, hand model equals Alex. Offer up with porch pickup discounts. We even printed Rebooted t-shirts. Wore them while delivering phones locally. Total nerds. But people loved it. The difference? A $160 XR with a plain listing? Took 5 days to sell. A $160 XR in a rebooted kit? Sold in 6 hours, sometimes for $180 plus. We were printing money, and we didn't even realize we were stepping on someone's turf. Enter Mobile Labs. A few weeks after our Rebooted launch, Alex got a message from a local tech repair shop owner. The tone was aggressive. "Hey. Just a heads up, you guys are undercutting us hard. Not cool to steal business when you're not even licensed." We brushed it off. Free market, right? Then a customer forwarded us a message they got from that same shop. "Don't buy from Rebooted. They repackage used phones and pretend it's a new company. Sketchy operation. No store, no support. No refunds." That ticked us off. We weren't scamming anyone. We offered 30-day replacements, free charger cords, even printed user manuals. We were doing it right, just lean. The bidding war. It escalated fast. Mobile Labs started aggressively bidding on every phone we listed on eBay, just to win and not pay. They'd ghost after winning auctions, tanking our sale velocity. So we pivoted, moved everything to Facebook Marketplace and started offering local-only sales. No shipping. No middlemen. Then, a power move. We ran Facebook ads for Rebooted, better phones, lower prices, delivered to you. $50 in ads equals 14 sales in a week. Gross, $2,100. Cost, $650, phones plus parts. Profit, $1,450. Guess who messaged us? "You guys are killing us. Want to talk business?" Yep. The Mobile Labs guy. The unexpected offer. He invited us to meet at his store, a neon-lit strip mall shop with glowing phone cases on the walls and a $2,000 espresso machine behind the counter. "I don't want beef," he said. "You guys clearly know what you're doing. I want in." He offered a 50-50 partnership. We'd do the sourcing and fixing, he'd sell through his storefront and supply high-end parts at a discount. Tempting, but no thanks. We countered with a bulk buyer deal. He could buy up to 20 refurbished phones a month from us at a flat margin. No partnership. Just wholesale. He agreed. Our first bulk order, 12 iPhone 8s 6XR, 2 iPads. All branded. Rebooted. Sale, $3,000 flat. The numbers climb. After that, the numbers looked like this. Average phone profit, retail $60 to $90. Average phone profit, wholesale $40, but bulk sales equals faster turnover. Weekly net income, $800 to $1,100. Monthly total, pushing $4,000. And we were still running it from my parents' garage. By now, Rebooted wasn't just a side hustle. It was a thing. The name had clout. We were getting word-of-mouth referrals. Parents buying for kids. Uber drivers upgrading from shattered SIXS. Even a dentist messaged us asking for a fleet of phones for her staff. Wild. But we hadn't really hit scale yet. That changed when Alex posted a TikTok. The viral moment. It was a 15-second video. Just a simple time-lapse of him unboxing a cracked iPhone XR, replacing the screen, putting it in a rebooted box, and showing the price. Bought for $60, sold for $200. Overlay text. Flipping broken iPhones from my garage. $10,000 per year side hustle. He posted it at midnight on a Sunday. By morning, 180,000 views. 1,400 comments. 4,200 likes. And our DMs? Exploding. Orders we weren't ready for. Suddenly, people from Texas to Toronto were asking, "Do you ship? Can I buy in bulk? Do you have Galaxy phones? How do I start flipping too?" We had 12 phones in stock. 12? We weren't ready. But we tried. We listed 6 phones as Rebooted Premium and added $10 for shipping. Within 2 hours, they were gone. We scrambled to source more, but prices had jumped, probably because TikTok viewers were now also buying up broken phones. Our margins got tighter. We were racing to keep up. I pulled 2 all-nighters that week just packaging and updating listings. Then came the gut punch. The $600 chargeback. A woman in Florida bought an iPhone XR from us. It worked perfectly when we tested it. Sent it in branded rebooted packaging with instructions, accessories, everything. 3 weeks later. Dispute filed, item not as described. She claimed the phone died after 1 day. No pics. No messages to us. Nothing. eBay sided with her, automatically. Funds frozen. Then pulled. We were out $600, phone plus shipping plus chargeback fee. We reached out. She never replied. Just ghosted. Alex was furious. We do everything right, and they just hit reverse and steal it? It was our biggest single loss since the PayPal scam in part 2. We had to get smarter. Again. The viral traffic was great. But now, we needed structure. So we made 2 big moves. 1. Website launch. We built rebootedphones.com using Shopify. Clean layout, secure checkout, automated shipping labels, tracking. We added FAQs, return policy, even a 60-second explainer video. Total cost, $147 for the theme plus domain plus plugins. Totally worth it. We integrated Stripe instead of PayPal. Why? Because PayPal had screwed us twice already. 2. Terms of service plus return policy. We wrote a real terms and conditions page. Simple but strict. 30-day return policy. Must send video of unboxing for damage claims. No refunds for water damage or iCloud-blocked returns. It didn't eliminate risk, but it gave us ground to stand on. The fire that wasn't a metaphor. Right as things were smoothing out, we had a literal fire scare. Alex plugged in a battery we'd gotten from a new supplier, cheap, bulk order. The phone sparked. Then smoked. Then pop. Tiny fire. Real smoke. We got it out quick, but it melted part of our workbench. That was the final straw for my parents. Out of the garage, my mom said, holding the scorched phone with salad tongs. Fair enough. Enter the office. We moved into a tiny co-working space, basically a glorified storage unit with Wi-Fi. But it had air conditioning, outlets, and no angry moms. We hung up our rebooted sign. We even got a whiteboard with our monthly goals. Why heavy checkmark 100 phones sold? Why heavy checkmark $5,000 revenue? Wide heavy checkmark launch rebooted certified, our refurbished to system. Green Square hire a part-time packager soon. We were running lean, fast, and hard. Profits were solid, averaging $1,200 to $1,500 a week now. But the more success we had, the more eyes were on us. Business was booming. Rebooted had leveled up from just a flip hustle to a mini brand. We were pushing 100 plus sales a month. Our website traffic was up. The co-working office had its own vibe, tech startup energy with slightly more busted screens. But we had no idea that one package we shipped would land in the hands of a guy with 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. The package to MTech Zone. It started with a regular order. iPhone 11. Black. 64 gigabytes. Mild scratches. Brand new battery. Rebooted box, accessories, our usual flair. We shipped it to a P.O. box in Los Angeles. No big deal. 2 weeks later, Alex texts me at 11:30 p.m. Bro. We're on YouTube. He sends a link. Video title. I bought a refurbished iPhone from a random Instagram ad. Here's what I got. Thumbnail. His face looking shocked, holding our rebooted box. The review and the panic. I watched the whole thing twice, holding my breath. It starts off solid. He praises the packaging. Honestly, this feels way more legit than 90% of eBay sellers. He shows the phone, the startup screen, checks the battery health, 95%, runs benchmarks. Smooth. Then the twist. He takes off the screen. So this is where it gets interesting. He points out that we used an aftermarket display, slightly lower brightness, no true tone. Not a deal breaker. But I wish that had been disclosed. Then he checks the camera module. Aftermarket too. Okay, now we're cutting corners. He wasn't angry. But his tone changed. By the end. Would I buy from Rebooted again? Maybe. But I'd want more transparency. Ouch. The fallout. Within 24 hours. 300 new visitors hit our site. 9 orders came in, so yes, it still worked as promo. But we also got 7 emails asking if we use cheap knockoff screens. Our reputation was at a crossroads. We had to decide hide or own it. The transparency pivot. We went full honesty mode. We added this to every product listing. Display and camera disclosure. We use high-quality aftermarket screens and parts unless otherwise stated. Original Apple parts available upon request, plus $40. We also made 2 new product tiers. Rebooted Basic, aftermarket parts, solid refurb, great price. Rebooted Premium, original Apple parts when available, certified battery, full diagnostics report. Margins dropped a bit. But trust skyrocketed. Within a week of updating the listings. Bounce rate dropped by 22%. Repeat customers doubled. We got 12 5-star reviews mentioning honesty and transparency. We even DM'd the YouTuber and thanked him. He replied, respect. Most sellers get defensive. You guys just got better. The wholesale pivot. Meanwhile, Mobile Labs, remember him? Tripled his orders. Turns out, our viral moment gave him more traffic too. Customers were asking if his store sold rebooted phones. He leaned into it hard. He wanted to white label our stuff, his logo on the box, his name on the inserts, but our refurb process. Deal. We upped our price per unit by $10 and offered private labeling on orders of 20 plus. Now we had 2 channels. Retail, 60% profit margin, slower but higher returns. Wholesale, 30 to 35% margin, fast volume, fewer headaches. But then, we got a cease and desist letter. Just when things were stable again, we got a certified envelope in the mail. Real legal stuff. Fancy paper. A logo at the top. From who? A company called Reboot Tech LLC. Out of Arizona. Apparently, they trademarked Rebooted for tech refurb services 2 years earlier. They wanted us to stop using the name. Just like that. Let me tell you, there's nothing like opening your mailbox, seeing your company name on a fancy envelope, and realizing it's from a lawyer. The cease and desist letter was short, sharp, and to the point. You are using the name Rebooted in association with technology refurbishment services. This constitutes a violation of our federally registered trademark. You must cease usage within 14 days. Sign. Reboot Tech LLC. Scottsdale, Arizona. The panic. I read the letter 5 times. Alex sat silently, staring at the floor like we'd just been drafted to the IRS Hunger Games. We Googled Reboot Tech LLC. They weren't huge, but they were legit. Professional refurb service with some B2B contracts and a storefront in a strip mall. We had 2 options. Lawyer up and maybe win, with legal bills we couldn't afford. Rebrand. Immediately. Alex voted for option 1. I voted for not dying under a pile of attorney fees. The 72-hour rebrand. We pulled a caffeine-fueled sprint over one long weekend. New name, Loopback Devices. Tagline. Trusted Tech Second Life. We chose it because it felt tech-y, modern, and vaguely retro, plus no one else had it. We bought the domain that same night and registered the LLC to be safe. Then we changed all packaging. Reprinted inserts. Redesigned the Shopify store. Sent emails to all past customers. We've changed names, not quality. Cost? Around $600 for the emergency overhaul. Stress level? Olympic. But it worked. The Business Insider article. And then, out of nowhere, Alex gets an email. Hi, I'm a writer with Business Insider. I saw your TikTok and Instagram. Would love to feature your story in a piece I'm doing on young entrepreneurs turning side hustles into real companies. We thought it was a prank. It wasn't. We jumped on a Zoom interview. Talked about buying broken phones, the FBI scare, the mobile labs bidding war, the YouTuber drama, the rebrand. The whole story. 2 weeks later, the article dropped. From broken phones to $10,000 profits, how two friends built loop-back devices in a garage. We made the homepage. For 18 hours. The wave. The exposure hit like a tsunami. 18,000 news site visits in 48 hours. 400 new Instagram followers. 112 phone orders. We only had 41 in inventory. We had to pause the site for 2 days just to catch up. Our basic kits sold out. People started pre-ordering. We added a waitlist for Loopback Premium. We even got inquiries from 2 school districts wanting reliable, low-cost student phones. From a legal threat to a national feature. But not everyone was happy. A few Reddit threads popped up. Are these loopback guys legit? Why are they charging $200 for old phones? This feels like overpriced flipping. Some haters, some fair critics. One user pointed out we were using aftermarket screens while advertising premium quality. That's dumb, because technically, they weren't wrong. We responded directly on Reddit. No defensiveness. Just transparency. Explained our part sourcing, offered refunds to anyone unsatisfied, and linked to our internal testing process. It earned us respect, and weirdly, more sales. The money. At this point, we ran the numbers. Phones sold to date, 348. Average profit per phone, $52. Total net profit, $18,096. Yup. We blew past our $10,000 milestone without even noticing. And the best part? We'd turned it into a system that worked whether we were fixing phones or sleeping. By now, loopback devices had leveled up. We had a name people recognized. Repeat buyers from across the US. Local stores doing wholesale deals. A real, structured refurb pipeline. But with growth comes delegation. And that's where our next big mistake came in, hiring someone too fast. Enter Josh. Josh was Alex's neighbor's cousin. Mid-20s. Chill dude. Always wore AirPods and called everything fire. He had some experience in tech, which turned out to mean he once jailbroke an iPhone 4. Still, we needed help. Orders were coming in faster than we could process. Our systems were breaking. I was falling asleep while printing shipping labels. We gave Josh a simple role. Package phones. Print labels. Prep accessory kits. Basic intake testing. No repairs, no sales, no sourcing. Just the basics. We started him at $15 per hour, part-time. The missing inventory. Week 1 went fine. Week 2. Something felt off. We'd bought 25 used iPhone 8s and had confirmed delivery. But only 22 made it to our refurb queue. We checked the packaging logs. Josh had signed off on receiving them. We figured maybe one was DOA and tossed, or miscounted. No big deal. But the next week, it happened again. 3 more phones missing. Same thing, marked received, but nowhere in inventory. Alex started getting suspicious. I wanted to give Josh the benefit of the doubt. Until we checked the eBay search logs. The stolen phones were online. Using a few IMEIs we still had recorded, Alex searched eBay. One of the phones, a black iPhone 8, was listed under a random username. But the location matched. The pictures were taken on the same background we used, just zoomed in. Then another. Then a third. All listed within 48 hours of going missing. Guess who had just bought a ring light for his side hustle? Josh. Setting the trap. We didn't confront him right away. We wanted proof. So we did what anyone would do. Bought a cheap GPS tracker on Amazon. Slipped it inside a dummy phone case with a cracked iPhone SE shell. Labeled it as part of new intake, and left it on Josh's packaging table. 48 hours later, it was gone. We checked the tracker. It pinged from Josh's house. The confrontation. We invited him in the next morning. I hid the GPS data and acted normal. Then Alex said, "Hey man, we've been having some losses in inventory. You haven't seen anything weird, right?" Josh got squirmy. No man. I mean, maybe someone's messing around?" That's when I dropped the line I'd been rehearsing all night. "Cool. So why did a phone we planted with a tracker end up at your house?" Silence. Then he laughed, awkward fake. "Yo, are you serious?" Alex. "Dead serious." Josh stood up, mumbled something about "You can't prove anything," and walked out. We never saw him again. Aftermath. We filed a police report, not expecting anything to come from it, but to cover ourselves. We also upgraded security. Installed cameras in the office. Switched to a digital inventory system. We were still using a Google Sheet. Limited access to high-value items. Lesson learned, don't hire friends of friends without vetting. But then something weird happened. 3 weeks later, one of the eBay phones listed under Josh's burner account got flagged by PayPal for being possibly stolen. Guess who had bought it? A reseller in Texas who happened to follow our TikTok. He DM'd us asking why a loopback phone was on another account. That's when it clicked, Josh was still trying to ride our viral wave. We posted a PSA on our socials, no names, no drama, just a heads up. If it doesn't come from loopbackdevices.com or our verified eBay store, it's not legit. We didn't hear from Josh again. But you better believe he's in our company folklore forever. The win. Despite all the chaos, we were still hitting numbers. Revenue hit $23,000 by end of month. Profit margin, 55%. Repeat buyers, up 40%. We even launched a certified refurbished iPad line using parts from trade-in programs. Life was good. But then came the biggest opportunity, and the scariest leap yet. Things were finally stable again. Loopback Devices had become a lean, honest, and finally drama-free refurb business. Our reputation was up. Our systems were locked in. We had $23,000 plus in total revenue. A 40% plus returning customer rate. A small but loyal social following. No more stolen inventory, shout out to GPS trackers. We were ready for the next level. That's when Ronald walked into our lives. The unexpected offer. Ronald was an old friend of my dad's, ex-tech sales guy, mid-50s, big voice, slick blazers, very into cigars. He stopped by the office one afternoon, saw our operation, nodded approvingly, and said, "You boys ever think about going retail?" We laughed. "Only in our dreams. Lease prices are nuts." He waved his hand like a magician. "What if I front the cash?" Silence. He pulled out a leather folder and showed us a lease listing for a small, modern storefront in a strip mall near a college campus. Newly remodeled. $1,800 per month. Then he hit us with it. "I'll invest $20,000. You open Loopback's first real location. I'll take 15% of the profits, and I'll be silent. But you've got to do one thing first." The catch. The one thing was odd. Ronald wanted us to hire his nephew Caleb. Now, if this were just nepotism, we might have brushed it off. But Ronald made it clear. Caleb needs direction. He's had a rough couple of years. This gig might turn him around. We asked, "Does Caleb know anything about phones?" Ronald shrugged. "He knows TikTok." We politely said we'd think about it. But Alex was already uneasy. "Feels like we're trading our independence for a babysitting gig." Still, a storefront? A real space? It was tempting. We did some recon. We scoped out the location. It was perfect. 600 square feet. Great foot traffic. Right next to a coffee shop and a vape store, our core demographic, basically. We ran the numbers. If we did 5 phone sales/day at $50 profit equals $250 per day. That's $7,500 per month gross. Subtract rent, utilities, taxes, we'd still be profitable. So, we said yes. Ronald cut us a $10,000 check for the deposit, gear, and signage. The other $10,000 would go toward inventory and salaries. We signed the lease. Loopback Devices was going legit. Meet Caleb. First impressions: tall, skinny, chain wallet, dyed blue hair. His handshake was limp, and he showed up 30 minutes late on day one. He said, "Sorry, I was editing a thirst trap for my alt account." He wasn't joking. Still, we gave him the benefit of the doubt. His job was simple. Handle social media. Greet walk-ins. Help package phones. Within a week, he accidentally posted an unboxing video with a customer's real address visible. He started using our ring light to film thirst traps on the sales floor. He gave a customer a 70% discount. As a loyalty bonus. We had no loyalty program. Alex pulled me aside and said, "If we don't fix this, I'm out." The showdown. We called Ronald. We laid it out professionally. Caleb was hurting the brand. He was chaotic, careless, and disrespectful. We'd give him a severance. No hard feelings. Ronald went quiet, then said, "If Caleb goes, the money stops." Boom. He was serious. Pull the plug on Caleb, and we'd lose the remaining $10,000, plus Ronald would want his cut back. It was our first true entrepreneur moment. We had to ask, is a storefront worth losing control? We chose ourselves. We politely told Ronald we'd pay back the investment, with interest, over 12 months. We offered to let him exit clean with no profit cut if he let us buy him out early. He wasn't happy. But he respected it. Caleb left the next day, after taking 3 selfie videos on the way out and writing, "free loop back," on our bathroom mirror in eyeliner. We took a hit. But it was worth it. We had to slow the store launch. We lost $5,000 from the investment, plus another $3,000 in setup costs. But we crowdfunded $2,000 from our followers. We offered early access, refurbished phone deals with branded swag. And we rebuilt. The store opened 30 days late, but on our terms.